Australia's business channel. This is Media Week.
Hello, welcome to the program. Well, Fetch TV's been ramping up its push for growth. Last month, the company signed an exclusive retail distribution deal with Harvey Norman to market its IPTV service. CEO Scott Lawson has been talking in the media about increasing subscriber numbers significantly. But can it really compete against the dominant player, Foxtel? Well, to tell us more, we're joined by Scott Lawson, the CEO of Fetch TV, and of course our co-host James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week. Scott, thank you so much for coming on the program. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk coming from Fetch TV in terms of, you know, the real push for increasing subscriber numbers. Yeah. I think I even saw quite a big number, 1 million in 5 years. I think it was in the...
I'm not sure I said that, but certainly
that'd be nice.
That we would consider achievable under certain scenarios.
Okay, so in terms of this, I mean, what are you doing to push, to ramp up your sales push?
Well, now's a fun time. So we spent 5 years building the service, working with our partners, and now we need to get out there and tell people about it. So in February, March, April, with Optus, with iNet, ourselves, a major above-the-line campaign we ran on TV and outdoor. We're on radio now. You'll see us online. So we're a mainstream advertiser now telling people about the product. We also recognize, you know, with these sort of products, people need to experience them. So they want to be able to touch, see what it's all about. And that's behind the Harvey Norman announcement. It gives us a chance to not only sell additional services, but to give people an opportunity to go somewhere and have a play. So all Harvey Norman, Joyce Main, and Domain stores are rolling out kiosks where people can come in and have a play. And then the final thing is we've got a very substantial customer base. If you can keep those users happy, then they'll tell their friends and tell their friends. So we're getting a lot of great feedback, and that's the best asset we have is happy customers telling their friends. You know, hopefully for the barbecue season in the spring, there'll be lots of happy Fetch customers having a play.
Scott, this must have been building to this point for quite a while. You've been at Fetch, what, 2-3 years now?
I've been there nearly 5. So it goes quick, James.
Well, because, I mean, we know you from ACP magazines, and you came in, you seemed to do a lot very quickly there. You were, you know, you're always hustling, launching things, or functions, events.
Yep.
This has been a slow build.
Yep.
You seem to be playing a much longer game here. Is that correct?
Look, it absolutely is a long game, and we believe we're going to be a very significant player in Australia, and to get into that position, we had to put a lot in place to build the foundation. We're also expanding overseas. So this is a business founded in Australia, but with very much international aspirations. We're about to launch our first products into Malaysia later in the year, and we have ongoing discussions with a range of countries.
Same branding?
No, we will be serving as a product house, so we'll be providing solutions to partner organizations in other markets. But, you know, our ambition requires quite a foundation construction, and we've been doing that for the last few years. But this is the growth phase. We're now at the fun stage where we're out there on the soapboxes on the TV shows telling people about what we think is a fantastic service.
What are the, I mean, when you're looking at things like price and content technology, what are the compelling things that are part of the Fetch pitch to consumers?
Yeah, look, a bit of a cliche, so I'm going to say everything, but the interesting thing about Fetch is there's a lot of services that are trying to get people to use them for a single purpose, you know, and they're very popular services. An iView, or if you want to have a TiVo to record TV, or they're competing for a specific thing. Fetch is a platform business, very much like Foxtel or others, where we want people to plug this service into their main living room TV, and when they get home at work, they're picking up our remote and they're experiencing content through the Fetch service, and whether that be on their iPad, their phone, or on the main TV. Now, to occupy that #1 space in the living room, that HDMI 1, this is my service, you've got to, you know, the bar is very high. So we feel it's not just about price or technology or content or user experience. It's got to be about all of them, because the game we're playing, the bar is very, very high, and you know, we have to be good at all of those things.
Just following on from that, is there an area you need to be more competitive in? I mean, you seem to have the technology almost nailed with a pretty good offer, but maybe not a lot of people know about it, so that's part of a marketing thing.
Yep.
Content, I mean, Foxtel's all about live sport, exclusive content. We've seen Netflix get a lot of attraction with exclusive commission content. Would you ever go down that path and say, look, we're going to have something, this will be the only place you can see it?
Look, I don't think exclusivity is our game. I think that's a very expensive game, and it's a very risky game. If you go and bid for the English Premier League or whatever it is, then 3 years later when that content right comes up, you're putting your whole business at risk. So we've taken an entirely different approach to traditional players, and we've just said we recognize that most people are happy principally with the free-to-air experience. So our starting point is, how do we make that experience better? And the obvious answer is to allow time shifting. So the Fetch service, first and foremost, is about it being a great personal video recorder. And our customers are recording on average 120 shows per month. I mean, it's phenomenal use. Then from there you say, what else do people want? And the first thing is the video store in the home. Australians rent per capita more DVDs than any country in the world. And that experience is obviously one that people would prefer to do from the sofa on a Friday night without stopping at the video store. So we're all about building blocks. At the end of those blocks, once you've done the PVR, the catch-up services, the video store in the home, the media hub, access to YouTube, etc., then we offer subscription packages. So it's really about satisfying that basic need first, and then building out the packages. We're really proud of the content we've been able to assemble. But we're certainly not competing for Foxtel customers. We're really going for the ones that don't yet have a subscription service at home.
Just on that, I mean, do you have much content that Foxtel has as well, or is there any that is actually yours exclusively?
Yeah, look, I think what probably would surprise a lot of people and a lot of your viewers today is the types of channels that we do offer would be your Nat Geos, your MTVs, your E's, your Disney Junior, Nick Junior, E-Style. These are very significant Discovery, Science, Animal Planet. You know, we have some really prominent subscription TV content available in a very affordable package. We also offer foreign language packages, Cantonese, Mandarin, Hindi, etc. We have 100% of the Hollywood studios supporting our movie offering, so over 3,000 movies to rent, including all the new releases. But what we're not doing is we're not going out there and bidding to be exclusive for that content. Because the prices we would have to charge consumers to secure exclusive content is much higher. So if you're going for the customer who's generally happy with their entertainment experience, and we're able to offer those types of channels at a very affordable price, it's a different market, it's a different way into the house, and we think it's going to be quite compelling.
Foxtel have had a bit of success recently entering that lower price point where they haven't traditionally been before with, I think, the Presto service and Foxtel Play.
Yep.
Is that a bit of defence against what you're doing? I mean, does that potentially hurt you?
Yeah, look, I don't think that that those products are really our natural competitors. I think given we're a PVR first and a set-top box play, when we talk about a Presto or a Netflix or a QuickFlix, and these are applications or destination sites, but they're not competing for that main living room experience. So if you were looking for analogous comparisons, I guess the T-Box, Fetch, Foxtel are both, trying to be that main service. I guess from a price point perspective, they're natural comparisons. But we really feel we're playing a unique game. That probably the best way to describe Fetch is we're Freeview plus. We're a way to build up from a great free-to-air experience. And we look a lot like different people for parts of our service. But in totality, we are very unique in this market.
Just in terms of targets for the growth strategy, looking at Australia, I mean, what are your ambitions then? And would the arrival of Netflix here change your strategy?
Okay, well, first of all, in terms of the market, we take a very simplistic view of what the market opportunity is. There are about 6.5 million homes in Australia that don't have a subscription TV service. About 1.5 million of those homes don't speak English at dinner, as a foreign language home. So we have a very specific strategy for that 1.5 million homes. And then we see the market as really the 5 million non-Foxtel homes that speak English and are happy with their free-to-air. And we think that's an enormous market, and there's plenty of opportunity for growth for a lot of players in that space. Netflix is an interesting one. We see Netflix as a very complementary service. In fact, we're probably the only player in the market who's quite excited about the prospect of Netflix entering. Because what we do is about recording live TV, it's about the video store in the home, it's about access to the catch-up, it's about subscription linear channels. But the bit we don't do is that on-demand service. If we look at the advertising-supported subscription or on-demand services like the iView Plus 7, SBS On Demand, we're happy to integrate them. We've integrated 3 of the 5 already and launching another one next month. Should Netflix arrive and have a compelling service, we'd be more than happy to allow our users to subscribe to Netflix via the Fetch service. So we're very much an ecosystem as opposed to a walled garden. And if there are compelling, we've integrated YouTube, we've integrated iView plus 7, etc. And we will continue to integrate those best-in-class examples. We just want to make sure we pick the winners and have the right partners when we do so.
Are there many more initiatives that you've got sort of planned to roll out that are going to help you get there? I mean, we've got IQ3s coming up soon. Will you need to go a step beyond what your current PVR is, for example?
So, look, we took a big jump when we launched. We're the first to go to 1 terabyte, 3 tuners. I won't bore people with chipsets and RAM and stuff, but the specification of the box is already industry leading, and we're very proud of that. I think the next big jump is 4K, and you've probably heard your first discussions about 4K, and we will innovate to support 4K as and when that content becomes available. In terms of this year, I think the big things that people can expect from Fetch for the remainder of the year, we'll launch additional catch-up services, eventually with all 5. We will be launching our multi-room solution, so the boxes talk to each other. If you've recorded in the living room and you want to watch it in the bedroom, you can do that sort of thing, and that's quite a nice innovation. Electronic sell-through or download to own is the industry term for the season pass, so the ability to buy a season of a favorite show. We don't see that as being a core service, but for certain shows, people are prepared to pay for that entire season experience. We'll be launching that later this year. And then we have some new distribution partners, some ISPs that we'll be announcing shortly, building the coalition bigger than it is now. The Harvey Norman Initiative, which you spoke to. And then later in the year, we'll be announcing very significant upgrade of our content offering as well. So, look, it is a very exciting time for us right now, and we're seeing some subscriber growth that's really exciting. It's the first time in 5 years that the subscription industry is really starting to reignite growth. I think Foxtel is doing a great job of pushing a lot of that. We're certainly doing some heavy lifting at our end. And, I think this market at 27% household penetration for subscription TV has plenty of growth left. We just need to get out there with compelling propositions and make it happen.
So just finally, I guess, on the state of the market, because obviously we've been seeing, the consumer sentiment taking a hit after the budget, seems to be recovering a little, but do you think that will be overcome, that it will bounce back, and that the people will be spending, as you're just saying, on things like that? Yeah,
look, I guess I think entertainment's largely counter-cyclical. I think people are conscious of their budgets, and I used to sell magazines, so I'm well aware of that. But if you look at the amount of time people, Australians are amongst the world's leaders in consumption of entertainment services, whether it be concert attendance, sporting attendance, DVD rental, magazine reading. We consume a lot of entertainment services. So it's really just about finding that right proposition and getting out there and talking about it. We're hearing very positive things. We think there's good momentum in the market, and we think there'll be 2 or 3 winners, and to be fair, there's going to be quite a few who are going to lose a lot of money along the way. But it's not because of consumer sentiment. It's about the compelling proposition and the business model behind it.
Scott, really appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scott Lawson, there, CEO of Fetch TV. Got plenty more coming up on Media Week, including the Newspaper of the Year finalists. All the details coming up with James Manning from Media Week in just a minute.